Hello and welcome to the Shittown Florida Man Power Ranking Podcast. I am NCR News Network, and as always, I am joined by my friend and co-host, Anthony Caruso.
Good evening, NCR. Good evening, everyone. What a show we've got for you today as we celebrate everything that is shit and nasty coming from Florida and that mythical land they call Australia.
Now, Anthony actually has something special when it comes to the Shittown Power Ranking.
Yes, I can announce that if you go over to the Shit Towns of Australia Facebook page, make sure you go there, give them a like and show your support because of all the good stuff they do. They haven't done 10 this week. They've done
Really?
20.
20
20.
Shit-towns. Oh my.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
it was an extra shit week for shit towns. Now, we won't go through the 20 because we'll be here all night, but we're going to give you our two honorable mentions straight off the bat. The first one is quite simply 20th place, Port Pirie, still shit.
As always.
And then in 14th place, it is NCR's favorite town.
The city of Townsville.
And in that one there, a grub was busted wanking in a woman's bathroom at a shopping centre, and a prison guard caught on CCTV wanking in front of a female colleague.
Oh, wow.
Not quite the full nudity, because mostly done in private, but looks like the fine people of the city of Townsville were a little bit randy over the week.
I don't know if there's enough cold showers to calm them people down.
No, absolutely not. Speaking of requiring cold showers, we got very excited when we not only produced one, but two new sponsors for our show this week.
Shall we start with something a little more delicious?
I think we shall.
Let's give thanks to our first new sponsor.
Get the very best in cooked and cured meats with Holy Smoke Barbecue. Come and join our residential Pope and the Papal Roti as they serve up a godly spread of ribs, breasts, pork sword kebabs, and rumps from around the world. Whether it is glazed in their very own signature water-to-wine sauce or treated from the Holy Smoker itself, you are guaranteed to have an out-of-body experience as you bite down on meat sent from heaven. Holy Smoke Barbecue. We are never afraid to show off our meat.
There's only one thing I have to say to that.
I know I shouldn't eat thee, but sacrilege.
I mean, that water to wine glaze.
I know. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The Holy Smoker. I've had a couple of the ribs from the Holy Smoker itself. It is absolutely incredible. And what's even special about it is that the Pope himself cooks it with the Papal Roti in supervision.
I mean, you can't get any better. I mean, the rumps from around the world are just mouth-watering.
I'll gladly eat rump from that all night long.
Indeed. And now, our second new sponsor to the show is somebody that we all know and love. And well, let's take a look at her new business venture.
Allow your imagination to run wilder than Hulkamania down at Becca's House of Secrets. With a wide range of books, games and accessories, Becca and her team will help you immerse yourself into whatever fantasy you may have. Mention the promo code HUN at checkout for 10% off. Check out their great range of products and make sure they see you next Tuesday at Becca's House of Secrets, where your fantasy is our secret.
Whew. It's a little steamy in here.
Hot! That was very excited to see that venture get off the ground, and we wish them all the very best of luck.
And don't forget, At Becca's House of Secrets, you can always join her secret club where you get sweet discounts on all your accessories.
Damn straight. Absolutely. So make sure you check out Becca's House of Secrets.
Now,
We better get on with the show because I think some of the women here at the moment have probably just checked out that ad and they're probably going to need to bring the temperature down just a little bit. So
just a little.
just a little. I have in my hands the ceremonial coin.
Now, I lost last week, but I'm hoping to redeem myself. Going heads.
Heads is the call. And it is a head.
Hot damn!
Game on.
Let's start off with this one. Florida man drives around construction barriers, hits 2 workers.
Ouch. Seriously, ouch.
Yes. A 68-year-old man named Charles is facing counts of attempted homicide and aggravated battery after he drove around a barrier and struck 2 construction workers who were fixing up the roads from flood damage due to the recent hurricane. The Pinellas County workers were trying to do their job and clear the roadways, but Charles couldn't wait. Charles struck 2 49-year-old construction workers. They have been released from hospital, and one is still being treated for his injuries. He was also charged with reckless driving, involving serious injury, and several other traffic violations. There is no word on bond, but I'm highly certain he will not be getting out.
Well, I can only hope that the bond they give them, if they do give them bond, is going to be something absolutely insurmountable that they've got no hope of actually getting out in the first place.
Oh, yes. Let's
Oh,
kick
boy.
off number 10.
Yes, number 10 from Shit Towns of Australia, and we head off to Maryborough in Queensland, where a grubbit decided to defecate in a cop car and smear it on the window. Now, unfortunately, this article is behind a paywall thanks to those lovely people at News Corp / News Limited, but we do have a name for this person. Shanine Joyce Skirman was being taken down to the watch house after being arrested by police, and in the process, in the back of the cop car, she removed her pants, proceeded to defecate in the police pod, picked up the poo, and smeared it all over the windows.
You fucking weirdo.
What a shitty experience that was.
It must have stunk to high heaven.
Oh, absolutely. Now, she has pled guilty to this about 3 days after the event. And I believe she's not only pled guilty to assault, but she's also been pled guilty to obstructing police. They have shown themselves willing to drop the charge of assault using a biochemical weapon.
I have no words on this one.
I don't think there are many words you can say. I think it's best left down the toilet, personally.
Yes. Indeed.
Yeah. Let's move on to number 9.
For number 9, we got a little bit of a funny one here. Viral Florida man known as Lieutenant Dan arrested for trespassing in Tampa Bay.
Hang on. Viral YouTuber named Dan.
No.
Oh,
They
apologies.
call him Lieutenant Dan
Lieutenant
because
Dan.
he
Okay.
is he's missing a leg.
Okay. Oh, I know the person you're talking about.
Okay, so Joseph, I hope I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce that last name, made headlines vowing to ride out the Hurricane Milton, in his boat, adding to his already lengthy rap sheet. This is behind a paywall. However, oh, here we go. I got it. The 54-year-old Florida man made headlines telling two Tampa Bay police officers that he is going to ride out this massive storm that did so much damage in a small little sailboat. He was already charged with 2 outstanding warrants for failure to appear in court and picked up an additional charge of trespassing at the city park. After being warned, it was reported to Tampa Bay 10 reporters that he failed to leave the dock after being advised to relocate and was taken into police custody. Now, here's the funny thing. He has a GoFundMe that has gathered $45,000 in donations.
45K.
Yes. Would you like to see Lieutenant Dan?
I think I've seen the photos of him, but for the benefit of everyone else here, please do.
Here is Lieutenant Dan and his boat.
There he is. Hang on. His surname, Malinowski.
Yeah, I was gonna butcher the hell out of that.
Yeah, well, it's useful you have someone here who's actually got an ethnic background that can pronounce that.
Hey, I'm Mexican.
And I'm ethnic. Oh, God, that's...
There's no way that damn thing is going to survive that storm.
No, but you know what? You know, credit to him. He's created a very nice name for himself, and who knows where he might pop up in the future.
He might get new legs.
Yeah. One can only hope. We now move on to 9th place for the shit towns of Australia, and we head off to sunny Rockhampton in Queensland, where hillbillies have been found brawling with weapons on the side of the road. That's number 1. And just continuing the great traditions of what was going on at Maryborough. A grub shits and... Oh, yep.
One thing comes
fucking do it again.
Yep. Just when you thought it was safe, another grub shits himself while fleeing police and tries to wipe it on the cops. I don't know what's going on in far north Queensland. What is going on with you and feces? Again, this is behind a paywall, regrettably, but we can tell you that meth addict Don Jeffrey Wiley O'Mara, geez, with that many names, you'd swear there'd be 2 or 3 of him, has appeared in court after trying to wipe poo on a police officer, arguing he simply defecated on himself.
I mean, this is the second story in Queensland where feces was involved. I mean, hearing that, this comes to mind.
It's just not right. It's really eerie here. Something's fucky.
Yep, couldn't agree more.
Thank you, Bubbles.
The state does have a massive stench about it itself at the moment.
Now, are you ready for number 8?
Do it.
Florida woman who's been in jail since 2022 is pregnant and promoting an interview. Well, let's put promoting pressing for an investigation.
She's in jail. She's pregnant. And she's pushing for... Yeah.
She's been in jail since 2022.
Yeah.
And is now currently pregnant.
Well, that narrows down the gene pool, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. A Florida woman who's been in jail since June of 2022 is pregnant, and according to her sister and her attorney, who are demanding answers from the correctional officers, Daisy Link, age 28, called her family on Christmas Day to say that she's almost 4 months pregnant.
Wow.
According to her sister, Crystal Bartow, I was at a loss for words and could not believe what I heard. Now, Crystal lives in Homestead, Florida, and said on a phone interview right away, I was concerned for Daisy and her safety. I don't blame her. Link has been held in the Turner Gulford Knight Correctional Center in Miami-Dade County, where she was on charges of second-degree murder. Records also show she was charged with battery by a detainee on a visitor or another detainee. She has not yet gone to trial, and in our first interview with Link about her pregnancy, the criminal defense attorney told NBC News that the second-degree murder charges stem from a domestic violence incident that Link was fired a single shot attempting to protect herself from her own abusive partner. I mean, I'm at a loss of words.
Wow. I mean, this sounds like a brand new episode of Orange is the New Black, to be perfectly honest.
I know. I just regret one thing. The Maury Povich show is no longer on the air, so we couldn't get Link and the correctional staff on there for the ultimate paternity test episode.
Now, we need to get Steve in there.
No, we need Steve, we need Maury, we need Ricky Lake, we need Jerry. I need to practice necromancy to bring back Jerry Springer. We're doing this.
We're going live. Oh dear. Someone's been getting busy in jail.
So they're proactive.
Very much so. Number 8 for the shit towns of Australia, and we head off to Port Hedland in Western Australia, where a Drongo council has made calls for the suspension of the COVID vaccines based on DNA altering BS. And we're going to kick off the headline here with the WA Premier telling Port Hedland Council to stick to knitting after the anti-COVID vaccine motion was passed. The Western Australian the town of Port Hedland held a special council meeting on Friday and has immediately instructed its chief executive to write to authorities nationwide to immediately stop the use of Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. The motion centred on a conspiracy theory about DNA contamination from COVID vaccines. Premier Roger Cook said the Port Hedland Council had gone off the rails by spreading the unverified claim. The town of Port Hedland should stick to its knitting, the Premier said. It should stay focused on the services and people of that community. It's another example of that council lacking the focus on the issues which matter to their constituents, making sure that they look after their people, not get distracted by these silly ideological debates. The town of Port Hedland councillor, who put forward the motion, Adrian McRae, ran as a candidate for the Great Australia Party, which campaigned against vaccine mandates at the 2022 federal election. He made headlines earlier this year over his appearance on Russian state television endorsing the transparency of Vladimir Putin's election victory. Let me put it this way. For those wondering, the Great Australian Party is probably one of the biggest grifts you'll ever see in Australian history. The gentleman who started the party itself is an undeclared bankrupt 3 times over. Is basically attempting to use the Great Australian Party to try and exonerate himself from any of the bankruptcy claims. He's a lunatic. He's a nutter. Councillor Adrian McRae, you are out of your mind.
And before we go any further, for YouTube's sake, we are not promoting any information on vaccines or any health concerns. We are just reading a news article.
Exactly. And the Premier in this case is absolutely right. Vaccine mandates or requirements are not a local council issue. They are a federal government issue. Focus on what local councils should be worried about. Roads, rates, and rubbish. That's all you have to care about. And I'm going to step off the soapbox now before I blow a head gasket.
Well,
and we'll move on to number 7.
Number 7 is, well, this is a bit of an odd one since we're with politicians. Why don't we stick to that theme? A Florida man joins the list of people released from prison by Donald Trump, who has since been rearrested for new charges.
Oh, please tell me he's connected with January 6th.
Let me pull up the article here from the Latin Times. But it looks like yes. He was possibly involved with them. But a Florida man who has been arrested once before and had his sentence commuted by former President Donald Trump for previous fraud conviction, Philip Esforma was arrested Saturday and was charged with 2 felony counts of domestic violence, releasing charges for tampering with a witness, criminal mischief involving property damage reported by CNBC. A jailer spoke to the news outlet, saying that he has posting 2 separate bonds to get out. But in 2019, Philip, who was convicted with a $1.3 billion Medicaid fraud scam, landed a 20-year prison sentence. You heard me right. Billion with a B.
Well, he doesn't do things by half measures, does he?
No, he does not. He was not involved with January 6th. But why? Just why, man? You're not getting another pardon.
Yeah. I don't get it. I simply do not get it. Yeah, you fought the law and got off thanks to Trump. Why do it again?
Well, it's very simple.
Oh, fucking do it again.
Yep, pretty much. Yep. Is the guy effing goofy? Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Clearly.
Let's move on.
And in 7th place, we head off to Catherine in the Northern Territory. Yes, see you in the NT. Where dead shits have pelted an ambulance with rocks after robbing a service station. Again, regrettably, this is behind a paywall, but what had happened with this, and it's absolutely disgusting what happened. Police were investigating a sexual assault that was occurring in the Darwin CBD. During that investigation, they then found a bunch of youths who were robbing a service station in the process, and then threw rocks at a parked ambulance. I mean, this is almost the holy trinity of shithousery. And it's getting to the stage now where I'm starting to wonder if the wood chipper is going to get called out for this one.
I mean, they're definitely due for a tour of it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering if I should send them to my summer camp for wayward youths at Camp Crystal Lake.
We're going to say because they're used, we're going to give them a second chance. If they do it again, yep, there's the wood chipper.
I say we give them a second chance, but I have a feeling that they'll be back in the near future.
Let's give the wood chipper maybe a little bit of an oil and tune, shall we? Have it ready. Indeed. Let's move on to number 6.
Number 6. Florida man arrested for threatening utility workers trying to restore power after Hurricane Milton. Yes, a Florida man drove into a fence and a utility pole, causing $1,000 worth of damage. In Hillsborough County, following the power outages due to the storm, crews were working to repair the roadways and to restore power, alleging a verbal threat was made by a driver who then drove his vehicle immediately towards them in a intimidating manner. A 57-year-old Keith Ray Varuso, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly or incorrectly. I don't care because he's a shithole.
Just confirming to everyone there, that is Varuso. It is not Caruso. No, we are not related.
When the incident occurred, a power line crew was working on the roadways that was closed off. He decided to drive his car there, costing an estimated amount of damage of $1,000. There is no word on bonds yet, but these guys were trying to restore power to over 20,000 customers. And this guy wants to be a dick. I'm sorry. I have no words for him, but maybe he would like to take a tour of Woody's Woodchipper Emporium.
What a shit human, honestly. You know, something critically needed, and he goes and does that. Honestly,
I mean, there's a lot of things I can understand without being in power in the state of Florida. You know, for me living there, especially with there being a lot of elderly people there, they need their power. They need it for medications to be stored. They need it for their AC. They need it for telecommunications, and to do that because for no fucking rhyme or reason, you're a shitheel, and you deserve it towards the wood chipper.
Yeah. There's no two ways about it. I mean, that is just shithousery at its absolute finest. Honestly, oh boy. I hope he gets the justice that's coming to him. Let's just say that.
Oh yes.
Number 6. We head to Cowra in New South Wales, where neo-Nazis gathered to protest about their tiny little penises. Yes, that's not what I'm saying. That's what they actually wrote down for it. The actual article Warning against rising threat has led to horrific manifestation of a neo-Nazi rally. About 50 people, masked, dressed in black, and brandishing a neo-Nazi banner that read "White Man Fight Back," held a demonstration in front of a war memorial in the small border town of Cowra on Saturday. The incident stunned residents and sparked condemnation from local, state and federal leaders from all sides of Parliament. You know, one person was quoted as saying, "This is what happens when we refuse to properly name and confront the extent of racism that is ingrained across our society. These rallies are a horrific manifestation of what happens when racism is normalized, to the extent that neo-Nazis are emboldened to be on the street as a threatening force." I gotta say that it's not the first time that we've seen this gang of white men marching around in black saying stuff that I would say, for lack of a better term, should never be repeated again. But let's just hope that, you know, Woody's wood chipper has got enough space there for about 50 people to drop in.
Well, if you haven't heard, Woody got that industrial car crusher in.
Ooh, now I enjoy watching these.
Imagine a giant paper shredder and you put a Ford Focus in it.
Yes.
You get some lovely confetti. But I think we need a little humor for number 5 here.
I think we will. I think we've had a little. It's been a little bit too serious. We need to make it a bit more fun again.
Then I have the story for you. Florida man returns home after Hurricane Milton to find alligator in his pool.
It's run from the golf course to the pool, has it?
Yes. A Florida man returned after 3 days of a shelter to come home to his house to do so, and found an alligator doing laps in the pool. Emil de Cuba said he returned home from a shelter after 3 days staying with his mother-in-law at their vacation house to see if his house had any damage, and there was no severe damage by the storm. However, when he went to the pool, he saw an alligator doing laps. And well, how big of an alligator do you think this was to frighten this man?
Probably not that much smaller than a saltwater crocodile.
Oh, it's quite small, actually. It appears to be about 3 to 4 foot long, if that.
Okay. Must be very agile if it's doing laps.
I mean, it's a small lap pool. I mean, you got to get your counts in, man.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, if the US team are already training for the Olympics, this is a good way to start, I guess.
True. According to Fish and Game, this is not even the largest alligator they have rescued from a pool in recent days. This thing is tiny. I mean, it is fucking tiny.
Pick it up and make it a pet.
You could. I'm going to show you the still from the video. You know what? Let's see if I can actually play the full video of them pulling this rogue reptilian menace. Oh, that's
here we go.
Smaller.
Oh, he's just having some fun. Look at him.
Oh, that's like 2 foot at best, man.
Oh, look at him. He's just like going, what am I doing? I'm just having some fun here, guys. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
We needed that laugh. We needed that.
Unfortunately, it's going to go a little bit more serious again, although I think this one deserves to be in the realms of Daniel Jones in terms of dishonesty and grifting, as we go to number 5 for the Shitdowns of Australia, and we head off to Mount Gambier in South Australia, where a state member of parliament who stole $430,000 from a kids' charity refuses to resign. Independent MP Troy Bell has announced that after being found guilty of theft and dishonesty, he's appealing the decision and is refusing to resign as the MP for Mount Gambier. He made the announcement just after 12:30 p.m. in his first public statement since the district court found him guilty of stealing more than $436,000 from an educational non-for-profit between 2009 and 2013. Bell, the member for Mount Gambier since 2014, had not commented since the jury found him guilty of 20 counts of theft and 5 counts of dishonestly dealing with documents. He was found not guilty of 1 count of dishonestly dealing with documents. In the days since the verdict, I have taken time to reflect, be with my family, and seek legal counsel on the best course of action. These past few days have been incredibly difficult for my family and myself as we come to terms with the jury's decision. After reflection, I am now ready to make a public statement. Based on the legal advice I've received, I've instructed my legal team to proceed with filing an appeal. Bell says that his matter remains before the courts, both for sentencing and the appeal, and he cannot and will not make any further comments on the facts of the case, any aspect of the trial, or indeed any in respect of this matter generally. He's also indicated his intention to stay on as the member for Mount Gambier amid questions about his parliamentary future. As the member for Mount Gambier, there is still important work to be done in shaping our community's vision for the future, he said. This is culminating in the Future Mount Gambier 2.0 document, which is nearing completion. It is my intention to finish this work to ensure that our community is in the best possible position to articulate our future need ahead for the next state election. My office remains open for, and as usual, for all constituent inquiries. I'm sorry, but if you've just been found guilty of stealing $436,000 from a children's educational non-for-profit, I don't think you're in a position to retain a position that involves trust from the community.
Hi, kids. Do you want to learn how to get screwed over by your local government?
It's like leaving a vampire in charge of the blood bank.
I mean, Vlad, we had over 20,000 units here. We were only gone for 5 minutes. What the fuck happened here?
Oh, I was a bit thirsty. I don't quite have the lisp to do a vampire accent, do I?
No, you've got to want to suck.
Oh. That's quite good. That is quite good.
Thank you. I've worked hard in my many centuries of life. Let's
Number
move
4.
Number 4, we have Florida woman yet again. A Florida woman escapes from an involuntary drug rehab, steals man's car, and runs him over twice.
Oof.
A woman escaped from an involuntary rehab center. Nikos, a Florida woman who was committed to a drug rehab center, escaped the hospital before she carjacked a 70-year-old man and ran him over twice, according to police. The woman escaped the Tampa General Hospital, Brooksville drug rehab center, and according to the Hernando County Sheriffs, several people called 911 reporting a hit and run in the parking lot of the hospital, where staff was telling the deputies that the 41-year-old Lisa decided that she has been in the emergency room earlier that day on a Bakerat, was to be committed to a involuntary drug hold, where she has escaped. Not only that, She was forcefully removing the victim from the car, sat in the driver's seat, and proceeded to run over him 2 times, and then got into a high-speed chase with police. She has been charged with felony counts of attempted murder, carjacking, resisting arrest without violence, fleeing and eluding, and she is currently in jail with no bond.
She sounds like she was having fun. Just a bit of bants.
I mean, I think she was trying to go for the GTA method, but just say no to drugs, kids.
Looks like okay.
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 Let's go to number 4 for the shit.
We might have to get, on a side note, we might have to get Mr. Mackey on the show at some point.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and see what we can get him on his schedule.
Oh, hopefully he hasn't done anything bad since the incident that happened with Mrs. Chokes on Dick.
That was a sad day for him.
That was a very sad day. We head off to Sydney for the shit towns of Australia, and just missing out on the podium this week is Sydney in New South Wales. Taxi driver charged after allegedly stabbing a passenger in the face. I'm sorry, hang on, let me say it properly. In your face!
Face!
In your face! A taxi driver has been charged after allegedly stabbing a passenger in Sydney's eastern suburbs. Police allege 71-year-old Azrael Aziz was taking his 22-year-old male passenger home when they began arguing at Boundary Street in Paddington last night. Aziz then allegedly pulled a 7cm knife and stabbed the man in the face. So 7 centimeters, everyone, for those wondering, just a bit short of 3 inches. Stabbed the man in the face just after 9:30 p.m. Aziz allegedly drove off and parked up the street, but his alleged victim confronted him, clutching his injured face and pointing the finger. Emergency services arrived at the scene. The young man was taken to St Vincent's Hospital in a stable condition with a wound to his eye. Aziz was arrested shortly after and taken to Waverley Police Station, where he was charged with reckless wounding. He's been refused bail and will face Parramatta local court today. Now, what's impressive about this is 2 things. First off, where this occurred couldn't have been any more convenient for the gentleman who had just been stabbed, because where he was stabbed was basically around the corner from said hospital.
Well, small miracles.
Small miracles indeed. The second one is the absolute balls of this guy, Azrael Aziz, allegedly stabbing someone and then just driving off as if nothing had happened.
Well, he had to get to those other fares.
And it's a silver service taxi as well. I mean, this isn't just some bog standard taxi. This is supposed to be a somewhat more premium service. And as I look at oh my God, it's a silver service on a Toyota Corolla. Are you kidding me? Just because the car is painted silver does not mean it's a silver service. Especially if it's a Toyota Corolla.
I mean, if I'm paying for something called silver service, I'm expecting, at least a Chrysler 300, maybe maybe a nice Lincoln town car.
An Audi?
Audi?
Yep. Not a Toyota Corolla.
But does the stabbing come included with your payment? I mean, and that's small of a knife. You gotta remember, it's not the size of the blade, it's the motion of the ocean.
Yeah. Injured eye as well.
Ooh. So we got the old Sasuke treatment then, huh?
Oh, God. Thank God it wasn't a corkscrew.
Oh, yeah. You'd definitely be screwed.
Yeah. Let's hit the podium.
For number 3, keeping in the trend of Florida men being degens, A Florida man accused of attempting to steal a generator powering traffic lights after the hurricane. Florida
Jesus.
Tampa electric workers stopped a man accused of trying to steal a traffic light generator. According to police and the Hillsborough County Sheriff's, a tip came in from the Tampa electric workers, leading to the arrest of a man accused of stealing a generator used to power traffic lights. He is currently in jail with no bond in the Hillsborough County Jail. He was charged with grand theft in the third degree during a state of emergency, which means there will be amplifiers to his charges. No pun intended.
I mean, what's going on in Florida at the moment? I mean, I know that the hurricane was not a great event at all, and I'm talking the event down, I know, deliberately. So please, no offense taken in. Please don't take offense in terms of what I'm saying. But the generator is there for a reason. They need it. What on earth do you need a generator for?
Well, from looking at his mugshot of him being arrested on the body cam footage, his grow house, and possibly his fish CDs.
Or maybe he was going to sell the generator because he needed money for something else.
Quite possibly. Who is your bronze medalist this week?
I take no pleasure in delivering this one here. We head off to Tamworth in New South Wales, where a 10-year-old has bashed a 5-year-old with a golf club.
What the fuck, man?
This is bad. The parents of a 5-year-old boy have called for action after their son was allegedly brutally attacked with a golf club by another kid. William Brooks Chiplin had been playing in the front yard of a friend's house in Tamworth, New South Wales, when a 10-year-old child allegedly attacked him. William was repeatedly hit, his parents told News, rendering him unable to move his jaw and his face extremely swollen. I thought he was going to die. No kid should ever experience that, his mum, Marissa Tisdale, told the network in a segment on Monday night. His father, Caleb Brooks, echoed the sentiment. The people who came out and saw it thought he was gone. He didn't make a sound. He wasn't moving. New South Wales police have said they have identified the child accused of hitting William and have issued him a warning under the Young Offenders Act. For children aged between 10 to 14, the Act is designed to provide an alternative process to court proceedings for those accused of a crime. William's parents, however, argued the consequences for their son's alleged attack did not go far enough and are calling on the New South Wales to lower the age of criminal responsibility. It's amounted to pretty much a caution. Legal and medical experts have increased warning against amending the age of criminal responsibility, a topic of contention across the nation in recent months. In most Australian jurisdictions, children as young as 10 can be charged, convicted, and incarcerated. This is difficult. There's an argument from the National Children's Commissioner, Anne Hollands, who said that lowering the age of criminal responsibility to 10 years will not make communities safer. It will only see rates of child offending increase. These are primary school aged children, and harsh punitive responses are not the answer.
I believe it should be on a case by case basis. You know.
Yeah.
And a case like this, that kid deserves a lengthy jail sentence. You know, this isn't boys being boys. This is serious.
People know it doesn't matter what situation you're in. If you go out and randomly assault someone with a golf club, you know exactly what you're doing. There is no argument that, the person is under the age of 14 or the person is under the age of 10. They don't know the consequences of their actions or what they're doing. Say, it's with a golf club. They know exactly what they're doing. And clearly, the alleged assailant needs help.
He's not getting the proper guidance at home. He's not getting the proper supervision. I think he needs to be put away in a facility where he can get the help he needs to deal with his anger issues, clearly that he has.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The parents have failed this kid, clearly.
Oh, yes. Are you ready for number 2? My silver medalist. Florida man points flamethrower at police and hilarity assumes.
Another GTA nomination.
Yes. A Florida man pointed a flamethrower and was arrested in Port St. Lucie. Our Florida man was arrested for brandishing a flamethrower at police. Joseph Morton, age 39, was charged with 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on law enforcement officers, 1 count of resisting an officer without violence, and it's going to get wild, folks. So,
strap yourselves in.
Morton got into a yelling match with the officers from his backyard, armed with a handheld flamethrower. He came to the front yard into the roadway where the officers were parked and began to point his flamethrower at the ground towards the law enforcement officers and then raised it up to point towards them. According to the police department, he was continually approaching the officers, pointing the flamethrower at one of the officers. And, well, he meant business. Morton was arrested, charged with the following charges that I listed, and is currently been medically cleared and has been transported to the St. Lucie County Jail, where he's being held on a $5,500 bond.
$5,500, is that all?
Yes. But here's the funny thing. While he was trying to retreat home to get fuel for his flamethrower, the police blinded him with a flashlight, and then Officer Sparky had a chat with him.
And no one ever wins an argument with Officer Sparky.
I mean, what can we say on that one? But Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's a shocking experience.
It is.
The silver medalist for the Shittown's power ranking for the week ending the 20th of October 2024. We head off to Adelaide in South Australia. We got 2 stories for you. The first one is a maniac trying to hijack a bus full of tourists before assaulting cops and a dog. And the other one, and our feature story for this week, suspected illegal tobacco store ram-raided and firebombed. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide is in the midst of an illegal tobacco retail war. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am. I'm strapped in.
Adelaide's tobacco war has taken a potentially life-threatening turn after firebombers targeted a black market stall with people living all the way around it. The incident unfolded at Cowandilla late last night, leaving young families scrambling to evacuate. CCTV footage captured 2 hooded figures deliberately setting the store ablaze while residents living above were sleeping. We are sleeping and firefighters came. I have an 8-month-old baby, resident Harket Singh said. Police Commissioner Grant Stevens issued a stark warning following the arson attack. Every arson offence has the potential to cost someone their life, he said, adding that the black market only exists because smokers are willing to support it. Operation Eclipse detectives were called to the incident, adding Cowandilla to the growing list of suburbs embroiled in the black market war. The attack marked the 16th arson incident linked to the illicit trade. So, there is a tobacco black market at the moment operating out of Adelaide, and there is a turf war happening. It's GTA, but you know what? It sounds like GTA San Andreas here. Get the turf war going.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Couldn't agree more.
You know, it's funny you brought up arson
Oh, no.
because my gold medalist, Florida man dressed in bull onesie, tried to burn down his ex-lover's house with a pot of pasta sauce.
What? Hang on. Burn the place down with a pot of pasta sauce.
Yes.
That doesn't sound physically possible.
Well, it gets wilder. Now, this story is from 2018, but this is my number one because it resurfaced on the Florida Man subreddit. Derek Irving, age 36, and John Silva, age 28, were both arrested after attempting to steal from a house and start a fire. One of the men were dressed in a Bulls onesie, not Bulls as in the basketball team, but a Bull onesie, and their accomplice was arrested attempting to burn down their ex-lover's house with a pot of pasta sauce. This happened in DeLand, Florida, where they were caught red-handed attempting to break into a house, where the men tried to stole a flat screen, and then before they left, placed a pot of ragu sauce and a washcloth near the stove, attempting to start a fire. Now, this took place late in the night. The victim alerted the police to the break-in, where where the resident was safely security system notified him that there was motion in the house, and the Volusia County Sheriffs, according to the Volusia County Sheriffs. When officers went to the scene, the suspects were attempting to load a flat screen TV out of the residence into a car. One of the residents, dressed in a Bulls onesie, tried to set the place on fire, and according to the victim, said, "Who tries to make sketty at 2 a.m.?"
What a waste of good ragu. Seriously. You know, someone who's got a real passion for good Italian cuisine, the last thing you want to do is waste good ragu all the way around, and especially to try and start a fire with it. I mean, what? Seriously?
Yes. But the funny thing is this. They actually put the word sketty in the news article.
I mean, that's impressive. And props to the journalist who wrote that.
The man let him use his car for 4 months. After giving him $150 to fix his teeth, both Irving and Salva were charged with unarmed burglary, grand theft, and attempted arson.
Oh, these two are up there for the MVP, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Who is your number one?
I've got a few stories here. We're off to Melbourne this week. First off, police sergeant accused of doing a Nazi salute twice in front of new recruits. That's not a great start. An 8-year-old tries to hold up a supermarket with a butter knife. I mean, if I saw that, I'd just look at him and just go, that's cute. But our feature story, and NCR, I'm going to need you to grab that video, that special clip that we have for just such an occasion. A couple has been found rooting in a stairwell. They dislodged a sprinkler. They flooded a city rail loop and evacuated 2 stations.
Well, we know what the folks there came for.
I'm Troy McClure, and I'll leave you with what we all came here to see: hardcore nudity.
Continue, please, because I'm intrigued.
I'm sure, as I'm sure everyone else in the side chat probably is right now, because anytime that we have a story involving nudity, everyone can't look away. An amorous couple in a stairwell has been blamed for causing a flood in Melbourne's City Rail Loop last week, which forced the evacuation of 2 stations and significant delays for people travelling home from an Olivia Rodrigo concert. Melbourne Central and Flagstaff stations had to be evacuated late on Thursday night, causing delays across the Metropolitan Rail network. While it was initially believed the incident was an act of vandalism, the Victorian Transport Infrastructure Minister, Danny Pearson, said a review of CCTV by Metro Trains had proved otherwise. It would appear that an amorous couple in a stairwell dislodged a sprinkler, Pearson told reporters outside Parliament on Wednesday. There was extensive flooding. Metro will be investigating these matters further and police are investigating. Perhaps a stairwell may not be an appropriate place to find yourself in after dinner. Police on Tuesday released image of a man and a woman who they said may be able to assist with their investigation into the incident of criminal damage. They said a duo gained access to a stairwell connecting platforms in Melbourne Central's train station around 10:40 p.m. and damaged a water pipe and fire sprinkler. On Friday, police said the damage caused extensive flooding to several platforms, which resulted in an automated evacuation of both stations and significant delays, including for commuters returning home from Rodrigo's concert at Rod Laver Arena. At this stage, it's unclear if Miss Rodrigo planned to get home via train or limousine, they said at the time. I mean, I know when nature calls, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But I've never heard of 2 people deciding to heed the call of mating in the back of a stairwell at a train station.
Well, talk about getting wet.
Oh, believe me, they were both very wet. And it is a very efficient way to put out that fire in one fell swoop. A public stairwell, wouldn't it smell in there as well?
It would probably help cover up the stink from all the freaking they're doing. It's nasty.
That nasty. We need Cleveland in for that.
I'll make sure we have him ready next time.
Yeah. So we've just confirmed as well that Mr. Mackey and Cleveland are going to be joining us next time.
Well, another week, another bunch of debauchery in the books.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to give us your MVPs and your winners of the Golden Turd. I've already given my MVP. Well, it was to NCR's #1 story, and what a story that was. That was very worthy of an MVP.
It was. I mean, I want to give both my nominations to both for the Golden Turd to the 2 gentlemen dressed in a wool onesie trying to start fire, and then the MVP to the reporter who decided to write the word "sketty" in the article just for the sheer fuckery.
Oh boy. Oh, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. My Golden Turd nomination is going to go to the state MP who stole $430,000 from a kid's charity and then refuses to resign from Parliament. Dude, give up. Honestly, no one trusts you anymore.
You know, I get dedication to the job, but at this point, bro, just pack it in.
Pack it. I mean, we've got a guy you can work with. He's based over in Wales somewhere, isn't he?
I believe so.
Indeed.
Well, I am NCR News Network.
I'm Anthony Caruso.
Be well, be safe, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.